and welcome into your reading. So I've already gone ahead and done all the other elements. Oops, just hit my microphone. So it's your turn, last but definitely not least. Let's go ahead and do a nice little weekend reading for you. We're going to start with the Sacred Forest and get a card for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday energies. See what that's all about. And then hopefully have Spirit grab a crystal or two, maybe an animal spirit message to close out your reading. Before we start, let's go ahead and cleanse the space. I've already gone ahead and shuffled and cleansed the decks. Just going to use this 528 tuning fork to bring in and invite the energy of miracles, of love, of happiness, and of joy. So if you haven't already, go ahead and take a couple of deep breaths. Feel those feet on the ground or the chair that you're sitting in. Come back to center. Gone ahead and called in my spirit guides, my angels, ascended masters. Let's go ahead and see what message wants to come out. Truth and clarity, please, for air signs. Strongest energy for Friday for air signs. Wow, okay, so expansion again. That's crazy, the way that landed in my hand, because I don't remember who it was. Oh, earth signs have expansion on Friday as well. Beauty. Ooh. Beauty on Saturday. What I really get from this is pampering yourself. Maybe if you have some free time on Saturday, you are encouraged with this new moon in Virgo to do a little bit more self-care. Maybe visit a spa, get your nails done, get a facial, maybe a massage, soak in the ocean, soak in a nice spiritual bath or tub. Okay. There's also a playfulness here, so if you have some friends that you can do that with, have a girls' day or a spa day, go for it, air signs. On Saturday in particular, the energies are suited for that. Last card, please, for Sunday for air signs. Strongest energy that wants to come out. Ooh, 2. Renewal again. Okay, that's fucking weird. Sorry. Excuse my language. I don't know whose reading it was where renewal came out in this last position, but I shuffled these cards very well. I do all kinds of cuts. I do all kinds of flips. But there's definitely a different energy here than, or a little bit different than the past readings. I take this as a confirmation that this is your reading, air signs. This is for you. And it's funny that this came out with renewal, because it feels like you're aware that you're stepping into this new energy. And maybe even on Sunday or on Monday of next week, you're stepping into a new role or a new job. But it feels like you have awareness of this. And what I also just find interesting is that I moved this over here underneath expansion, because your knowledge is expanding in some way, or your awareness of something is expanding in some way on Friday in particular. And at the bottom of the deck, we have Enlightenment, Forest Temple. So on Friday, if you can get out into nature, and noticing a tree here as well. Yeah, noticing these woods. If you can get out into nature on Friday, even for just a couple of minutes, it's going to help you expand your awareness or your perception of abundance, your perception of your growth. Wow, and then I'm also just noticing how these peaches sort of look like these 3 little orbs. And this is what I understand from this card as being knowledge being downloaded into her, coming from this divine realm, coming from the air, maybe even coming on the wind, with this being a sailboat. And a swan. Again, swan symbolism has come out in multiple of these cards as well. So there's something about moving with grace. This is also the first card in the deck. You have a certain inner knowing that you have gone through a transformation, or that you are about to move into a new period where you can have certainty in what you're feeling intuitively, and certainty in the knowledge that you hold and that you have within you. And what I'm also understanding from this is just, it's very interesting, is that you might receive psychic wisdom or psychic downloads in your dreams. There's something about the mistiness that she's floating on above these trees that give me this energy of dream state. So maybe this knowledge comes to you as you do some sort of meditation or as you take a nap out in the woods. Maybe you're planning on going camping, or maybe you should pursue that. Very interesting. Yeah, very, very interesting. So Friday is the day that you're going to have this expansion of knowledge, maybe even have some sort of moment of enlightenment, but definitely a sense of clarity here and a sense of abundance with all of these fruit on this tree. Sorry, I'm just sort of... There might be a spiritual guide who brings you this knowledge as well. Or there's a sort of deja vu moment or synchronicity that happens to you on Friday where like you realize that you've seen this in a dream, or this experience has already been shown to you in a dream, and that you know what to do, or that you know how to move forward. Wow, interesting. Very interesting energy. So whatever that is on Friday, that seems pretty big, and it seems like it's going to... I keep going like this. It's going to be tangible in some way. Almost like it's going to be undeniable that you know that you had this dream, and that dream was prophetic because you're now living it. You've shifted into that moment. And that's actually happened to me before. It wasn't anything significant, but I guess I had a dream of sitting outside a specific Panera and having a meal outside of that Panera. And of course, when I dreamed it, it didn't seem like anything significant, because it wasn't. And it still isn't very significant until I was sat outside of that Panera and I looked up from my food and I realized that I had seen this before. I had shifted, like it's almost like the frame of two pieces of film or photographs align themselves, and I realized that I had seen this before, and it feels very strongly like that's going to happen for you. But it's going to happen in a way that's undeniable. Where in the past you might have been able to shake things off and been like, oh, that must have been because of the show that I watched the night before, or this experience, this deja vu feeling must happen because I'm feeling nostalgic, or there's Chick-fil-A's everywhere and now I'm at a Chick-fil-A and it's just a coincidence. But no, this is going to be some sort of undeniable download or undeniable perspective that happens to you on Friday. So look out for that. It's also interesting that this is all sort of happening as the Mercury comes out of retrograde and the new moon in Virgo happens on that same day. So look out for that. That seems like it's going to be a very interesting experience for you. And okay, so what that might actually have to do with is a friend or a relationship in some way is what I'm getting from this card as well. It might also just be a relationship to your spiritual guides. Maybe you don't have a relationship with your spiritual guides, and so they're going to make themselves aware to you, or you're going to understand that they've been speaking to you in your dreams because they show up to you in a certain way, or they show up as a certain person, and you might actually encounter that person on Friday, and it's just going to become very obvious to you. That's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, and so what I'm noticing is she's wearing a crown of white flowers, and there's like a little mistiness, magical sparkliness going on above her head, and so it feels like you might be undergoing some sort of crown chakra awakening or crown chakra enlightenment, and we did have enlightenment at the bottom of this deck. So on Friday, it might actually be the experience that happens to you. And on Saturday, you have the moment to sort of reflect on how beautiful, with this being the beauty card, on how beautiful that experience is, the way that it played out. I'm really getting a large sense of gratitude from this as well. So you might be really grateful for whatever this experience is, because it's opening up new awarenesses and new paths and perspectives for you. Who's this? What is that? So I'm just noticing in this corner here, I don't know if that's focusing on the screen, in the moon, it looks like there's a man reading a book. What is that? It definitely ties back to this idea of knowledge at night. This full moon in Virgo, or new moon in Virgo, is going to be very significant to you in some way. Air signs. There's going to be a pretty massive shift going on, and I think it's going to be in the way that you understand, receive wisdom, and almost the effortlessness that it will now begin to flow into you with. Your dreams will become much more prevalent. Your psychic downloads and your intuition, if you don't have psychic downloads, then your intuition will become much stronger. And it feels like you, like I said, you have a certain sense of appreciation for this and this transformative energy that you're moving into. Oh, okay. So everyone appreciates the lotus flower for how beautiful it is, but not everybody knows that the lotus flower grows beneath the surface of the mud before it comes up through the mud and up through the water to sit on the surface of the water. And not everybody also knows that it's pretty common for these lotus flowers to close again at night and dip beneath the water to be cleansed of whatever might have landed on it, any debris or mud or anything else, and then come and bloom again on the surface of the water during the sun, during the day. And that's what I understand from this renewal aspect. Again, there's these blue lotus flowers here also indicating something about your dream state. But then there's also these lotus flowers here, these larger ones. So I'm being called to encourage you, if you have access. Yeah, and the wind is confirming for you air signs right now as it picks up very strongly. I'm being encouraged to tell you to seek out blue lotus tea or blue lotus tincture, or maybe do some sort of meditation with blue lotus, as it's going to help you clear that channel and have even more vividness and beauty in the dreams and the messages and the visions that you receive. And what I'm also understanding from this is your reconnect. So maybe you already work with blue lotus, but if you don't, your reconnection to blue lotus is significant from a past life in Egypt, because the blue lotus is sacred and was worshipped there. And this renewal is a renewal of your connection and a renewal of your knowledge, maybe even having to do with your past life or a past experience in Egypt. Holy shit, that's big. Oh. Okay, so I was trying to understand why this crown prince thing is here, why this prince is here. This is frog spirit, right? This has to do with transformation as well. As the frog is transformed from a legless tadpole into the frog itself. But what this card is actually representing is the idea of the frog prince, right? The princess who kisses all of these toads to finally have one magically transform into her love, into her prince. And I didn't necessarily understand why beauty was here before. Besides this whole thing being beautiful, being your visions and your downloads having some aspect of vividness and beauty and magic and mystery to it. This is a very specific message for somebody, but it feels so strongly that I can't not say it. It feels like whoever might come across this and whoever might watch this air sign or otherwise, you had a past life in Egypt where you were royalty, where you were a pharaoh, or you held a very high position as a high priestess, maybe even as an empress. And the wisdom that you had in that past life is part of the knowledge. Holy shit, expanding knowledge, expanding wisdom. That's what's being downloaded into you this weekend. or at least it's starting to. You're starting to reconnect to that past wisdom. And the Egyptians were known for all kinds of incredible advancements in health, in life, in love, right? It feels like this crown chakra awakening is you becoming realigned and renewed with that wisdom. And it all has to do in some way with your dreams. So wow, that's, speaking to Egyptian royalty here, that's a very strong and special message for somebody. And there's something about this new moon in Virgo, with the moon card being in both of these, or with the moon being in both of these cards. I just said the moon card. So the moon card in the tarot talks about mysteries revealed, talks about truth. So you might have never understood why you were so drawn to pyramids, or why you were so drawn to zombies or mummies, or whatever not mummies, but scarab beetles and I don't know. But this is absolutely tying back to some sort of past life awareness and past life knowledge coming in for you this weekend. And what's funny is every other sign or element only had 3 cards come out from this deck, and it feels very significant, like the completion of a cross, and maybe even the symbolism of the cross is significant in some way. You're at a crossroads. But there's balance here. Wow. I don't even know what else, because like I'm sort of shook by how clearly that message of Egyptian royalty came in, and how clearly it's becoming to me that you are aligning to that past wisdom, and that you're going to be able to use it in some way, and that the way that you end up using this knowledge and sharing this knowledge is not only going to be beautiful and graceful, but it's going to allow you to expand yourself, expand your financial stability, expand your abundance, and expand your awareness. Holy shit, guys, that's really good for you. I don't even know what else to say. This is huge. I might sound underwhelmed, but this is huge. Wow. I'm sort of taken aback. And the way that the winds are going right now, they say messages come on the wind. Hell yeah. But the winds have picked up tremendously since I've sat here for the last almost 2 hours, 3 hours. And it's for you, air signs. There's no doubt about that, and there's no coincidence in that. I also have been choosing using the Daily Crystal Inspirations deck, but I suddenly felt called to actually use the Crystal Spirits. Oh my God! I wish you could like share chills, because the way that my entire spine just lit up in chills, and then now my crown chakra is quite literally tingling to the point that it feels like I have like a massage, like a vibrating massager on top of it. You are being initiated into the wisdom of the Naturu, and I don't even know what that is entirely, but that is, holy shit, guys. Like the way that the ways of nature, the ways of the seasons, the wisdom of those things, the wisdom of the plants, the wisdom of the animals, the wisdom of the wind, the wisdom of the water, the wisdom of the earth. I know that in ancient Egypt that was often referred to as the Naturu. I might be messing that up, but there's absolutely an initiation and a return and a renewal to that wisdom for you. But as I started to see, holy shit, with Aquamarine here, this is you, like this is your crown, and this is your third eye opening and expanding and being aware of all of the swirling air and knowledge and wisdom that's available to you. And the structure of this Aquamarine is important because you are now able to, whereas in the past you might not have been able to discern or give understanding and give structure to all of this information that you receive in your dreams or just have swirling around in your head. It feels very much like the divine is now giving you a blueprint, to how to structure that information, how you once downloaded that information in past lives, and how you can access it again and use it in this life. Well, this is the completion of a cycle for you, of a lifelong, lifelong cycle for you, with this being 7 and 3, adding to 10. And dumortierite being one of the most third eye and throat chakra activating crystals. One of my favorite crystal sellers spoke about dumortierite as almost being a telephone line to the divine, as being a direct connection to ancient wisdom, divine wisdom. And what's really interesting is dumortierite, I forget what the word is, but it forms in these like splashes, basically in all kinds of different directions. And that's what it feels like. You weren't able to give clarity to all of the ways that you knew things. It even sort of looks like the Blue Lotus here. But what you knew, you knew. And this completion is coming because now there will be structure and clarity and calmness and peace in those faculties for you. Holy fuck. Sorry guys with the language, but this is a big message for somebody. Obviously dumortierite and aquamarine are two crystals recommended for you, or two crystal energies recommended for you to help you download this knowledge, to help you expand your third eye and open up your crown chakra, to step into this renewal of those ancient wisdoms that you had once lived and that you still have access to. But what other crystals might these air signs work with for this weekend, which is going to be a huge weekend for you? Amethyst 4, yeah. Amethyst is the crystal of protection for the psychic and for the psyche, not for the psychic, for the psyche. It calms and soothes the mind, but also offers stability and protection. And so there's a certain level of groundedness that needs to happen for you in order to download this wisdom. And it feels very strongly like amethyst is coming out here because it is so readily available. You can get it at any crystal shop. You can even get it at some metaphysical shops, or almost on every street corner. It's that readily available. But it's important because it feels like you can leverage amethyst, especially at night in your dream state, to protect that channel, to give clarity to that channel, and to give you certainty in the messages and the wisdom that you're downloading. Holy shit, guys. This is a huge message for you. Let's just grab one. I don't even feel like I need it, but I'm gonna go ahead and grab it just to give stability with the number 6. Yeah, this is a big change with the number 5, but let's just grab one animal spirit oracle message to close out your reading, air signs. This is a crazy reading. I was not expecting that. But there's a reason it was left to the end. Wow. Angels, spirits, guides for air signs, please. Strongest animal energy or animal spirit that wants to come out. I don't know why I just saw the scarab beetle. I know that card exists here, but okay. Clear the clutter. Clear out the clutter. So your advice is, in order to be the clearest, purest channel, and holding their little aquamarine, in order to be the clearest channel for this information. Wow, frog again. I just noticed, frog again. You should do your best to clear your space and clear the clutter in your space and clear the clutter, more importantly, in your mind. So get into a meditative state. Maybe watch a guided meditation video on YouTube, or do some Reiki to help you activate your third eye and your crown chakra. But watch a Reiki video to help you to do those things, because the more that you clear out the clutter, what I really just got very clearly is the stickier your little hands will be, not hands, but the stickier that knowledge and that wisdom will be to your energetic body and to your energy field, and the easier it'll be for you to reach out, grasp it, and bring down this information and use it and share it in a tangible way. So clear out that clutter. Clear, what I'm really getting is on your nightstand. If there's too many things on your nightstand, or you are a crystal lover and you have like 900 crystals on your nightstand, clear it out. Put the biggest amethyst you can find. If you have aquamarine, throw an aquamarine there too. But keep it light and make sure there's not a lot of energies or outside influences, especially in your sacred space of your bedroom. Okay? Wow, air signs, this was a message. Also being a 10, right? The completion of a cycle where you were unaware of this past life interaction, where you might not have known that that's what was taking place. And we started this message with 10, and now we're ending this message with 10. And we also have 20 here. Frog spirit twice as well. It's interesting because I'm not immediately, besides the idea that you were you've kissed a lot of frogs, right, to find your prince, and that you might have had that royal Egypt connection to the pharaoh. I'm not entirely understanding why frog is here twice, but there's significance around frogs as well. Wow, air signs, this was a crazy message. I hope it resonated with you. If it did, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Comment below. Share with somebody if it didn't totally resonate with you, but you know you have that one friend who's also an air sign who is completely obsessed with ancient Egypt. Share it with them. If you're watching this on YouTube and you haven't already, please consider subscribing for a new message or for additional messages like this in the future. I find it incredibly interesting also, as I finish your message, the sky has opened up, is blue with beautiful clouds in it, almost like exactly like this card, whereas before it was almost like this card, very stormy, lots of darker clouds. So really very interesting. It feels like this weekend is going to be, what I just heard was a sigh of relief, because it feels like you're coming back home. Oh my God, wow. You're coming back to self in some way. So clear out the clutter and make space for that, okay, air signs? I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful weekend ahead. Take care.